This is a Tabernacle Tidbit, a bite-sized Tabernacle Talk of 5 minutes or less to help you get through your day when you only have a little bit of time. We hope this helps you to know Christ, grow in His Word, and show His love to others. Let's get started. Well, welcome back to Tabernacle Tidbits. Today, we are in 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse number 15. And actually, this is a verse that I have known probably for 25 years. And really love the truth of this. And there's actually a whole kids Bible curriculum, that their, if you will, mission statement is taken from this verse. And the verse, as many people memorized it over the years, as I did, is approved workmen are not ashamed. The acronym is AWANA, and many of you might have been in AWANA over the years, and I know that it was how I kind of got my start in Bible memory, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse number 15, Paul writing to Timothy, he's encouraging him as he's a pastor, as he's interacting with people from all different walks of life and all different strengths. Paul tells him, be diligent to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who doesn't need to be ashamed, correctly teaching the word of truth. And first, he starts off by saying, be diligent to present yourself to God as one approved. So this word, be diligent, is the word spudazo, and it means to proceed quickly, to hurry, to hasten, to speed up a process, to expedite. So it's like quickly get to this task. And then the other meaning or aspect of the word is to be especially conscientious in discharging an obligation, to make every effort, to be conscientious, to be zealous or eager. He says, this is something that you need to do quickly, so do immediately. Don't wait till later in your life to present yourself to God. Instead, do it right away and do it to the fullest. So he says, be diligent, and then he says to present yourself. This is to put yourself at someone's disposal, to be present. This would be, perhaps if your boss was like, hey, I need you to make sure that when I call you, you're right there, because I'm going to need you to run this errand, or I'm going to need you to hit this button at this particular time. So you got to be at the ready. And so we're supposed to take a special pains. We're supposed to make every effort to make ourselves available to God. And it says, as one approved. And I love this word. And I love this phrase. It doesn't say be diligent to present yourself to God so that you can be approved. It says present yourself to God as one approved, because you have been named righteous and justified by Jesus. The actions that you do with God are not so that He will love you or so that you can go to heaven. It's because I'm going to heaven, because I've been adopted, because I am loved beyond measure, because I know that my Father hears me and He loves me and He cares for me and He wants me to be with Him for all of eternity. Yeah, I'm going to be available for God. So he says, be diligent to present yourself to God as one approved. It says a worker who doesn't need to be ashamed. That is, having no need to be ashamed. And this is the kind of life that we want to live, that as we come to God, that we're not saying like, God, I am so sorry that I abandoned you this week. I didn't pray. I didn't seek you out in your word. I wasn't meditating on the truth of who you are. I just lived my life and I didn't spend any time with you. Or someone that would say, I have turned my back on Jesus this week a little bit, and I didn't talk about him or I didn't talk about him to my coworkers, or there was an opportunity for me to be able to share the gospel, or to be able to say something about what God's doing in my life or in my church. And I just neglected it, and I didn't say anything about it. I hid, if you will, my light under a bush. And we would not want to be one that has shame when we come into the presence of Jesus. Certainly, we know that God has that forgiveness and grace and love for us so that we don't have to be ashamed because Jesus took that and nailed it to the cross. But sometimes as we fall, then we're scared to come back into, if you will, that courtroom of God, to stand at the ready and to say, God, use me, when we know all the times in which God would have wanted to use us and we didn't listen and we didn't pay attention. But can I tell you, even as we'd hear in Psalms and Proverbs, a righteous person falls down 7 times and gets back up again. And keep on going to the Lord, keep on going to Jesus, keep on, if you will, presenting yourself to God, saying, God, please use me today, work in me today, help me to encourage someone else today, because that's what God wants for your life. And then the last phrase he says here is correctly teaching the word of truth. This would be, if you will, cutting it straight. It's kind of a tent maker's term, which obviously that's what Paul was. And as he is encouraging Timothy, he says, I want you to not use the scriptures in a way that benefits you. Do it so that people actually know what God is saying and what God has said and how he wants them to live. Well, I hope that 2 Timothy 2:15 was an encouragement to you today, and want to encourage you, present yourself to God because you are approved, a worker that doesn't need to be ashamed, correctly teaching and declaring to others the word of truth.